Hey Zeus, would you like to know what's going on with the planets? Boy, I bet you would, wouldn't you? Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. And maybe other people, humans might want to know about what's going on with the planets from an astrological point of view at this time. I mean, it's almost Christmas, it's almost solstice. Aren't you excited? Yeah, I am. I'm Mark McNutt, and I've been an Astro Wizard since I was a teenager, and I still am. And a cat lover since then. Say hi, Zeus. And anyway, I'll be talking about the transits for the month of December, maybe into January a little bit if we're lucky. Then we're going to have the voices of the planets. Yeah, isn't that exciting, Zeus? Yeah, he's excited. And so then I'm going to talk about Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde. Yeah. So the new moon was December 1st, and it's a few days later right now, and even as I speak, Venus is going into Aquarius conjunct Pluto, and we're having Mercury retrograde, like we all love so much, and Mars is going retrograde today, woohoo, and then also quite a few things happening during this month. So we're presenting a new feature, and it's called Voices of the Planets. And sorry, I didn't get the reverb hooked up in time, so you'll just have to provide your own. We'll start with the sun. I'm the sun, and I'm moving into Sagittarius. I'm really excited about shining the heat and the light in the middle of winter. Now, if you want to travel to the southern part of the hemisphere, well then I will be with you and I'll shine really brightly. But otherwise, I am here to provide light at a time of darkness. All Sagittarian times, this is what it's for. It's for bringing light out of the darkness and for being re-inspired and coming to a place of deeper truth. So I invite you to share that truth with me as I blaze across the sky. And I am joined at the new moon on December 1st, and the 2nd and the 3rd by the moon. As the moon, I bring down the changing light. Every 2.5 days, I change signs. I go through all my emotions in the course of a lunar month. I go through everything. I'm going to start with Sagittarius, but I'm going to balance that with Capricorn, and then move into Aquarius, and then Pisces, and then Aries, and so forth, all the way through all the signs. Isn't that interesting, Zeus? And so I embody the joy of change, and at the full moon, I'm going to be a supermoon once again, just like I always am. My full moon this month is December 15th, right in the middle of the month. And at that time, many things change. So we can expect Mercury to come out of retrograde, and we can expect mucho changes at this time. So I invite the concept of change in our lives. And I am Mercury. Mercury moves really fast and zips through the signs, and then every now and then I need to realign who I am. You may think I go retrograde, but I don't. Your minds go retrograde. I'm doing just fine. I'm just moving around in fast circles around the sun. I can't wait to get to the next place with it and zip around a lot more. But I'm retrograde right now from the end of November until mid-December. And this is not the best time for signing contracts, for buying a new car, for all kinds of related endeavors. This is a time for taking stock of the past and for recapitulating, to put it back in your brain, to really get the lessons. We're taught so much to always move forward, and as Mercury, I always move forward. But because you are living here on Earth, you need to go back into the darkness, into the phase before, in order to really understand on a mental level what's going on. And I am the voice of Venus. Venus is the planet of love and relationship and how we deal with our social life. And I'm here to remind you to have fun at this time, because I've just moved into Aquarius today. I'm conjunct Pluto, and all things are going to change this month. It could be a dicey month for relationships. So if your relationship is solid, then I'm with you all the way. And of course, for early Aquarians and for others that really like the wide diameter of Venus in Aquarius, I'm there with you, because Venus in Aquarius is about ultimate friendship, ultimate sharing as a larger community. But Venus in Aquarius, not so good for the personal relations. And what about that? Let's talk to Mars. What does Mars have to say about that? Well, I'm Mars in Leo, and I'm very much excited to be in the ego, in the time, in the courageousness of now. Now, you may notice that things are kind of receding right now for many of us, with this Mars aspect being Mars retrograde. Boy, I'm so much about going into the other side. Things can be brutal under Mars retrograde. I'm Mars in Leo right now. Then I go back into Cancer. Mars in Leo, very courageous, very powerful, very warm. Yet Mars in Leo also stimulates the ego, stimulates the personal. It's not the world server. So that's why when I go into opposition with Venus in the middle of this month, there's the duality of self and the universal, of our tribe and of our own interest. And Mars retrograde, boy, I'm going to be with you from now, December 5th, until the end of February. And so good luck. This is a time for healing all of our relations. And I'll be talking more about that. And now let's tune our attention to Jupiter. Jupiter is in Gemini. And in Gemini, I balance with the duality like a juggling game. I'm here for the many things, the multiplicity of what's going on now. And yes, I am retrograde too. So what is it that you forgot to get together? What is the truth that you have not embraced? Perhaps writing it out may help, because Jupiter, I'm going to be in Gemini for a little longer, and this stimulates communication, writing, sharing on that level, networking. And then that brings us to Saturn. Well, I'm Saturn. I'm very serious usually, but I'm in the sign Pisces. So who can be serious about Saturn and Pisces? Because this is about going into the long-suffering aspect. And happily, it's about the vision of what's possible. When you have Saturn and Pisces, it gives credence to being able to visualize and dream in a very creative way. So Saturn and Pisces might be hard for holding on to that dream, but inspiring the dream, it can happen. Just give yourself that time, because Saturn's about time. And so give yourself that time to go into the metaphysical, and go beyond the physical, go beyond all the appointments and all the communications and all of the paperwork, and trying to make it all work on that level, and just go to the heart of belief, because that will save us. And what about you, Uranus? Okay, yeah, I roll on my side. I spin backwards. I stir up whatever I'm in. So as I'm in Uranus and Taurus at this time, well, this is another year of upheaval, of earth changes, of transformation in the material and in money and in all that we hold dear. So Uranus does not embrace the sign it's in. Uranus rebels against the sign it's in. So Uranus and Taurus. And we continue year 7 of Uranus and Taurus. And then there's Neptune. Neptune, well, the god of the seas and the underworld. Neptune is also in Pisces, the sign of belief, coming out of a retrograde. And so this is a time when we can move forward in our beliefs, and this is a time when we can project the new world. Now, there isn't really a lot to measure the success of that of that thought form right now. You just have to believe. There are many who believe things who have made for this material reality at this time. And so we're living other people's beliefs because it's time for us to revision our own beliefs. Isn't that right? And so that brings us to Pluto. As Pluto, I embrace the change and the transformation. I'm going into Aquarius, where I'll be for the next 20 years. Pluto in Aquarius is going to change the fundamentals of society. And Pluto right now, conjunct Venus, expect your relationships to change. Expect your ideals to change. Expect your vision to take on new forms. And this will build over time. So I swear to you, and I promise that as Pluto going into Aquarius, that there is a future to believe in. And so a future of transformation. So speaking as myself right now, Pluto moving into Aquarius, conjunct Venus, well, expect your relationships to change. Expect transformation in the way that you go about your daily life. Mars and Venus are in opposition in the middle of the month under that full moon, and they're natural partners and natural adversaries. So Mars retrograde in Leo is that could be a little problematic, because that could be, the egos, the self running rampant, and usually, sorry to say, a lot of violence goes up during that time, which is unfortunately from December 5th until February 23rd. And so it's usually about 2 months every 2 years. And Mars in Leo moves into Cancer. And Mars in Cancer is going to well, all I can say is the best news, it's a great opportunity for really in-depth healing. Now, people fear Mars retrograde, they fear Mercury retrograde. These are scary to people, especially all the planets except the Sun and Moon go retrograde. And Venus every 2 years, Mars every 2 years, Mercury 3 times a year. The other ones every year. And so the thing is that Venus and Mars are opposition now. That could... all I can say is, if you think you're going to break up, it's time to do that, or time to have that deep talk or whatever. If you're not realigning your life right now, you're missing something. Because this will happen anyway. And the bright light about Mars retrograde that doesn't get talked about very much is it's about power issues. And it's a time when often people can heal from old wounds having to do with power and so forth. And Mars will enter Cancer very soon, and Mars retrograding into Cancer is going to bring up the healing of family interpersonal relations. So with the holidays approaching, that's a great opportunity. So that's the important one, got it? And then Mercury is also retrograde, as I mentioned. So time to reorder your mind. If you're doing all that ordering for the holidays, probably add more time, and also look for the last minute deals, because the second half of this month is going to be a lot better than the first half. So happy hunting, happy soul searching, and wishing you the best for the holidays. And you too, Zeus. It's been fun talking to you.